Welcome everybody to Youth Yaad. This is your boy T-Bor, alongside the one and only
Diamond.
Make them know. Yo, so we think set today. You don't know. We're coming to you live, I want to say from FB and Faith Temple Studio. But the reality is that we're in the church. We just turn the yard fight. We just turn it in a big old yard space.
Survive.
Yeah. So this is Youth Yaad. What is Youth Yaad? Youth Yaad is a youth initiative from the Faith Temple Youth Ministry. And what you're trying to do is to make sure that you are, this is a French word, of faith, which means that you are in the know of various things. And we're going to use words and make sure so we edify you as well.
Amen.
Not to show off, but to believe in uplifting people out of the dungeons, so to speak. We have Sharon Gardner bouncing in the background. This man is one of the most vibrant gospel artists, gospel entertainer I've ever seen, Diamond. Yeah, man. I got the opportunity when Praise House was a thing. Praise House kind of drop off a shape. To hear man like this man and the man them Papa Stan him just get saved. I heard an a cappella DJ group. So these men are the persons who pioneer the music, my kind of music. I love me hymns, them absolutely love me sing Great is Thy Faithfulness. I love me DJ Nicholas, but I don't think I've seen anybody.
One day if you can pull back a video one of these times.
Yeah, man, I'm going to get him. Him still doing him thing, you know.
Okay,
Him still live and current all over the Eastern Caribbean and doing him thing. So we want to make sure that we expose it not just to Jamaican things, but to things which are relevant to young people.
Definitely.
Christian young people, but believe me, we're going to talk about some topics what every young person in every walks of life
can benefit
will want
from
to
it.
know about as well. So Diamond, give us a rundown of the program.
So, as Robert said, I am Diamond, the co-host of Youth Yaad. But first off, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. It's definitely a pleasure to have you sit before your TV, your computer screen, or your phone screen to take us in. We definitely appreciate it. And we know that you have a lot to learn from us, and in return, we are going to learn from you. But on today's topic, we are going to be looking on some current topics. So of course, you know, there are always things that are trending, things that are heated in the media, in the newspaper, and all around, and we want to bring it to the forefront here. So of course, we'll be looking at that. Then we'll be flowing into our YouTube feature. We'll be talking to and hearing from a young minister himself, Minister Adrian. And I'm excited to hear the word from him today.
Preach the word, preacher boy.
Yes. So we'll be hearing from him in our segment, Rhema 10. So look out for that. And we can't, this is a youth space, a youth yard. So everything we do, we have to include the young people them. So we're going to have a segment called Youth on the Rise. And today's feature will be looking into none other than Unique Cosmetics, the business operated and owned by a grade 10 student of Mount Alvernia, Duana Dawkins.
Word.
And we'll be hearing more about her business through, you know, her development and so forth. And of course, how can we not have opportunity in a space that we consider youthful? So, you know, we'll be having and sharing opportunities that we have garnered through our network, through our spaces here, so that you guys can benefit from it and you guys can jump on and make use of this opportunity that we'll be presenting to you. And of course, Robert, there is nothing that we do that we can't have some vibes in it. We are young people, right?
Yep.
So we have to have the vibes, the music, the enjoyment, the entertainment. And of course, we're lifting up and bigging up the name of Jesus because we know that we do nothing without him here. So we'll be having our feature, our music feature, celebrating, looking at a young, upcoming, or well-established gospel artist. So we'll look out for that.
Yeah, man.
And, Robert, we'll be having our talk, or wisdom corner.
Yeah. We have to drop some truths, some words up in here.
We have to have some words that's going to feed you. And, of course, we'll be looking at some things that is applicable today, in today's world. How can we move forward if we have failed? Because we know that failure is a part of the journey.
Yeah, man.
And we're going deeper into the wisdom corner, because even though we'll be looking at the in the industry now, the music industry now, we're going to look at how it's has been impacted by the COVID-19 now. What's trending there? How are they, navigating the space now? And what can we learn from this season of our lives? And of course, we're rolling into our Ish Then video by the one and only Napoleon.
Black. Big up yourself, bro.
So we'll be highlighting an Ish Then video that will be looking at, as our bird said.
There's a point to ponder. It's going to be a clip from an interview or a program Napoleon and I did called Girlfriend Got Daddy Issues. So Napoleon had a lot to say.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, we're going to pull a clip from it.
Yeah, so we'll be looking into that. Interesting topic. And of course, we're closing out with the scriptural affirmation. As I said before, we do nothing here without the presence of the Lord. So we're closing out, charging you for the week with your scripture to take with you to walk in your heart and to lead the way. So Robert.
Yeah, man.
How has your week been?
My week?
Yes.
Well, my week is tiring, because I have so many side hustles. So I was doing some networking and some CCTV installation from Sunday. I left church and go straight from that job there. And I just finished it today. Crimped the last ends.
Thank God.
But it was a productive week. Make a little money in my pocket.
Yeah, man, multiple income.
Money, like a little bit of money. Castor oil, I buy a bucket of castor oil and the money done. So, but I saw it go.
The hustle is on.
Yeah, man, I have to do it.
Definitely. So, Robert,
when I like how you turn on face my while ago, like say, you're going to take me out or something. What is it, that one?
We're rolling into the current topic, so I have to face you because we have to talk about these things, right? And the first thing I want to highlight and I want us to talk about and look into, of course, we're living in COVID time, as they would put it now. And it's something that we're learning to navigate.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. And it's not easy for many of us, and our mental, physical, it's just not easy. But we're learning to adapt. We're learning to, become our, for lack of a better term, adjust to our new norm. But it has its challenges, right? And we want to look into this new phenomenon, because I want to say we always, when we hear about COVID, we think about the hotspot areas like Portmore and things like that, and we feel not so safe, but kind of safe because we don't live Kingston, Portmore, but then you hear about teleperformance.
That was a scare. I got up the morning and, as usual, I checked on my statuses. And so a brethren of mine who work out the Freeport here, I don't know if he took the video or if it was, well, when I saw it at first, I thought he took the video. But I saw these people just standing up outside, like, whole heap of people. So I say, oh, wow, go on, one day for bomb scare and blah, blah, blah. This was before I knew what was happening. And then I saw the next clip that was on his thing, which was the news report. That 18 cases were found in this one location.
Scary.
I said, Jaja, because, like, I want to be a part of that, and it just goes to show, like, this thing can change in the twinkling of an eye. This thing seems to be one of the highly contagious viruses. And, if you're working in a space like that, you may just find yourself, you may just find them kind of something.
Yeah, and it's scary, man, because you're thinking that it's right, it's here at home, next door to you. You don't know. You have a lot of BPO sectors or something that, it's widespread in the Western region.
is the leading BPO environment.
There you go. So when you think about it and you look at what it did with Alarica and Portmore, you wonder what's the potential for us. But we thank God, though, that it was found early enough to at least curb some of the risk to other persons. And we hope that it doesn't spread exponentially. Yeah,
and I know, for some of these companies, it's about the almighty dollar.
Right.
But I'm really just hoping that persons take the necessary precautions.
Definitely.
If the place isn't sanitized properly and persons who were, contact of these people aren't tested, boy, I'm going to turn on my yard.
Definitely. And if you have to come out, you wear your mask, wash your hands. Do the social distancing thing.
Definitely. I mean, that's one of the things that we have to get used to. because as Jamaicans, we're not used to the social distancing thing. We're very huggy and kind of thing, set of people.
Cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing, and it comes from our African pride. You know, that's where we get it from. When I went to Africa, people don't really see you and cross the street and hail you. Them come up in your face.
And you have to greet them
embrace
with a hug.
and these kind of things. But we have to get used to just doing things as they should for the time being.
Definitely.
You know?
And I tell you a story because, as you say, it's a part of our culture. I was in Hilton's, and I saw a gentleman who knew me from I was small, all right? And he came to me and he was like, no man, I have to give you a hug. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but a long time I don't see him. I have to give you a hug. And me there, I don't want to do it, but I don't want him to feel away, but I know say, I have to follow the protocol. But the truth is, I did give him a little hug. And me come home and tell my father, and hear my father, though, you know, say it wrong and you going to hug him and come here and tell we about it.
Yeah.
But it's a part of our culture, and it's just so hard to not see somebody that you know from so small and embrace them.
For me, it is always best to err on the side of caution themselves, but the reality is we don't know who in Jamaica has not done something to put themselves at risk.
True.
You know, but we just have to keep as much as we possibly can.
Definitely.
And we can't overemphasize the wearing of the mask. You know, the wearing of the mask, the washing of your hands, the hand sanitizing, that kind of thing. You know, for COVID, she's getting too much of her time. Right? And it's a she, Corona, is the female version for crown in Spanish.
Wow,
you know?
I didn't know that.
That's what it actually means, crown. Coronation is where we get the term coronation from.
Okay.
Which is to put a crown on somebody. So, you know, it is what it is, and we just have to try our best to be as safe as possible.
Definitely.
But I'll tell people, be safe and sanctified, or safe and saved. Guys, saved is one thing to be safe, you know. But if you're not saved, boy, dog never suffer.
Thing.
Lord of God. Adrian go preach repentance for sure. He's a good youth. He's a good Pentecostal preacher. So we have to touch repentance. If it's not in the sermon notes, put it in the sermon notes. Yeah, man. So we have to just do what needs to be done.
Definitely. But, Robert, the Virgos have joined the YouTube gang.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's a big move, and I watched yesterday's episode. I was my boss, like, we never see a big man so nervous. The man say, yo, I'm going to put on braces. And to be honest, Romain, a long time I pre that I could think, I'm going to say I make a big piece of cheese. I say, yo, why the partner really, you know, do the corrective thing. But when I hear the man I go through his fear of doing this thing, and you know whether or not it's going to alter his voice and this kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm respecting him for at least be that, you know, that honest.
Honest about
and
it, yeah.
Liz ram too rough. Like Liz said the man teeth look like when plane a take off. And she says to my boss, we just reiterate what your wife said.
No.
You know, but them can't do that. But I'm really, for me, you know, if a person wants to correct the buff teeth or not, but him. So what I like is that he's doing it for him.
Yes.
Because he's not really confident with the smiling thing, and you know, as a public figure, he has to do that a lot. He's on a lot of interviews. He can't really ask him to catch the good side of his face and the good side of the buff teeth. You know, so respect up to the man, and it's a good addition to the influencer space because they're good youth.
But you know what I love the most about them? Like, they show their vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Like, I love how Romain, even when they showed the video when he was about to propose, the nervousness, everything, you can just see that the man is not faking it.
Yeah.
He's not. And Liz post on Instagram, you know, how much Romain balled down the place at the wedding.
Yeah, like, I heard about that.
And she posted a video of it, and it was nothing pretty.
Yeah.
And I mean, them not shame about them things.
Yeah, and we have to do that. And I like as well Wayne Marshall and Tammy.
Yeah.
Right? M-T-M. I'm one of the family.
Robert,
I don't know if my first cousin or second cousin. But I do, and I like, there was one video where he was talking about Phoenix.
Yes, yeah, I
and
saw that
it
video.
was touching, like, just to see a big man, a big dancehall artist, choo-choo-choo, and the man a ball over, you know, something that really, really touched him because her disease is something that is terminal. Doctor said that she wouldn't have lived past
Past
three,
three,
and now she's 7. So, you know, God has been good to them.
Definitely.
And we want to celebrate that. You know, 4 years, and she's not on a borrowed time because God may just give her 20 more. We know persons who have defied the
Certainly.
odds where these things are concerned, because at the end of the day, Flavor say, you know, God will make a way. I know that. You know, so, and Flavor got up on the program as well. We
Big up
confirm
yourself.
and talk to her.
Okay,
You know,
great.
so we just go keep it, our eyes tuned to what's happening on social media where these people are concerned. And as we said, the more Jamaican influencers we have, is the more the culture goes out there.
Certainly.
And the better name. The Talawa part of our little thing can really shine forth.
Certainly. So we're going to take it a little bit out of the country and move and look into the big, mighty United States of America.
I hear Trumpology coming on board right here, right now.
Of course, we local, but we think no local. So we are take it internationally. What do you think about the presidential race?
All right, let me tell you, somebody asked me the other day if I was living in America, who I'd vote for. And I won't say who I'd vote for.
Yes.
But I know that there are many persons who are supporting one party because of their religious conviction. When it comes down to politics, I tend to look at the individuals as well as my religious affiliation towards a party.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be one thing or a next thing because of my religious persuasion if the individual doesn't stand the test of integrity.
Okay, got you.
So for me, it has to come down to the individuals.
Okay.
Who do I support and what does the person stand for?
Okay, so you're saying you separate the party from the individuals themselves.
Sometimes you have to do that.
Okay.
Because when I go and I say, all right, I'm voting for this person, I am supporting an individual as well as an ideology.
Ideology, definitely.
You know, and does this person really and truly, though the party might support my ideology, does this individual represent the ideology that I'm putting forward?
Certainly.
And I think that is where Americans, I'm glad we're not American, so we're glad we don't have a vote.
We can talk as we don't have a vote,
Yeah.
yes.
You get me? So I'm not going to say who to vote for or who to whatever else, but I think persons just have to look at the individuals and make the decision. Sometimes the ideology has to be worked out in a person and not in a party.
I agree. I
Yeah?
definitely agree. And I mean, it comes down to you analyzing what you're seeing they're putting forth
Yeah.
and just understanding the context of things, not just because you know this person or your parents' parents did follow the party here,
No, sir.
or just because you feel like your friend associate with this party.
Yeah.
Analyze the thing for yourself.
Yeah, man.
Understand the other ideologies behind the parties, and then you make your decision. As we say, we really don't have no vote, but Youth Yard is a space that is non-partisan. Let me say that.
Non-partisan.
So,
A one party we send a Jesus party.
Jesus Christ. Jesus
And the DJ
party.
there for the Jesus party. Chini is an addition to the show as well, but the man had some mechanical problems, so you don't know the thing set. But Chini
Big
is
up
the
himself
vibes
same
master. So a Jesus party we set for a Youth Yard. Straight up.
Definitely. So we just encourage them to analyze things, put things into context, know what you're voting for, and
Yeah.
then make your decision. That's what we have to say here on Youth Yard.
Yeah, man.
But we're going to run into our YouTube feature.
Yeah. So this YouTube feature is a very, very, something that's dear to my heart. We're going to look at a disease that is a non-communicable disease, but it affects females, mainly of the Afroid persuasion. Take this look on scoliosis, and then we'll come right back to you.
Hi, my name is Mark Lee. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Connecticut Children's, and I primarily specialize in kind of spine type things and a bunch of other disorders in pediatric patients. So this is my third time in Kingston, and I think I've traveled to Montego Bay as another portion of this particular trip 4 or 5 other times, and each time I've enjoyed it thoroughly. The trips are sponsored by the Duncan Tree Foundation, and they've done a fantastic job of organizing. And that's probably what pulls me back every single time, that it's well organized, and usually they bring together kind of quite a good group of people, really motivated to help kind of children who have this particular spine deformity. During this particular trip, I hope to assist these kids in essentially kind of re-engaging in their society by correcting this particular medical issue they've been dealing with for many years. And it is my hope I will leave this trip finish this trip having left them in a better place than they started. I think, I think overall the organization is run very well. I think its major strength is the collaboration. It's, I think the ability to take everybody's opinions and kind of incorporate it into the mission statement, understanding how to improve, and understanding that there is room for improvement.
I want to start up a foundation for persons who have scoliosis. I want to call it the Jamie Jenny Foundation in memory of my sister who died. It's going to help persons with scoliosis who are unable to pay for their surgery, but also persons who are able to use like back braces to correct it before it's too late. Because I know persons like my cousin who had it, who was unable at first to pay for the back brace, so it was getting worse. But fortunately for her, her parents were able to come up with the funds in order to get it. But there are lots of persons out there who can't. And I want to be able to help them so that they can be able to correct their scoliosis too.
So we are heading into our Rhema 10, the word in 10 minutes, with our minister, Adrian Allen. He's a young minister, a very vibrant minister, and we look forward to hear from the word that he has to us today. Take it away, Minister Allen.
All right, good evening, guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Yaad. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I have a powerful word for you guys coming up, and I just truly hope that those who are watching and listening will be truly blessed and will be challenged and will be ready to look at life from a different perspective. Tonight we want to talk about the power of one man. The power of one man. The great man theory is a 19th century idea according to which history can be largely explained by the impact of great men, highly influential individuals who, due to their personal charisma, intelligence, wisdom, or political skills, utilized their power in a way that had a decisive historical impact. If we look here in Jamaica, we know of our national heroes. Notably, Marcus Messiah Garvey stands out in history as one who was greatly committed to the emancipation of minds. He sought the unification of all blacks through the establishment of the United Negro Improvement Association. And he spoke out against economic exploitation and cultural degeneration. We look at Sam Sharp, who led the most outstanding slave rebellion in Jamaica's history. But let us look in the Bible. In Genesis, God created man in his own image. He placed man in his domain, and he said to rule over it and tend to it. But throughout the Bible, God always chooses one man through whom he will bless a nation and carry out his divine will. And today we will look at the progression of men in the Bible and what God did through them. The first man we want to take a look at this evening is Adam. He was the first man or human created by God. And he was supposed to be the perfect man and rule over his domain. In Genesis 1 verse 26, God said, "Let us make mankind in our own image and in our own likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, over the livestock, and all the wild animals. And verse 28 says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the earth. But it was also through that same man that sin entered the world. Throughout history, we can look at leaders who were men who caused great travesty in our world. We remember Alexander the Great. We remember Saddam Hussein. We remember Osama bin Laden. We remember Adolf Hitler. Closer to home, we might hear of Dudus. We might hear of Zeeks, Tesha Miller, Blackman, and many more that we might hear of. And so we know that men can be very powerful and very influential. So Adam was the first man through whom God used to bless this world. It was no time for the baton to be passed on to Noah. Remember, we're speaking about the power of one man. So the baton was now passed on to Noah. The Bible says that Noah was a righteous man. He was blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. You see, Noah was given a difficult task of building an ark. You see, when God told him to build the ark, he had no idea why he was supposed to build that ark, because God did not tell him yet. So imagine God tells you to do something. One, you have no idea why God is telling you to do that. And two, when you start doing what God says you should, people are looking at you like, you don't come from planet Earth. Y'all know that meme with that old man. So Noah was building the ark, and people might say, this man don't come from planet Earth. You're building an ark, and what is it for? We never see rain fall before. Why are you building an ark? So God gave Noah a difficult task of building an ark. You see, some of the times as young people, we have so many bright ideas. We have so many things that we think of, and we say, this is what we want to do, and we say, people are not going to buy into our idea. People are not going to say, okay, this is a very good plan that you have. But God showed you something, He gave you an idea to carry out, and you're doubting your idea, you're doubting yourself. I want to say to you this evening, do not doubt yourself. Whatever ideas that come to your mind, write them down, put a plan forward, and move forward with that idea. So Noah was given a great task to build an ark. But Noah was very disappointed, because Noah preached for 120 years before the flood, and not one person got saved. Can you imagine that? You're preaching and you're preaching and you're doing all you're supposed to do for 120 years, and not one person got saved. It's like you have a business and you're selling and you're putting out your products, but no one is coming to buy anything. You would be disappointed and you would feel discouraged. And I want to think that Noah was in that state where he felt so disappointed. He's doing what God says he should do, but no one is listening and no one is coming forward. The Bible says Noah did everything just as God commanded him to do. And I just want to implore us tonight, if you have a feeling and a desire of God telling you to do something, do it. Even though you might not be seeing the results at this particular time, I still want to encourage you to do it. Because you don't know when God will just turn things around. You don't know when God will just flip a switch and everything begins to change and come through the way how you expected it to. So the Bible says Noah did everything just as God commanded him to do. And now it was time for Noah to pass the baton on to Abraham. The Bible says that Abraham was the father of faith. His son Isaac was born to him at the age of 100 years old. And his wife Sarah was 90. And the Bible also tells us that Isaac became the father of Jacob and Esau. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And his descendants became the nation of Israel. And the Bible says the Lord said to Abraham, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land that I will show you. And I will make you into a great nation. He says that I will bless you. I will make your name great. And you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you and curse whoever curses you. It's like God was saying to Abraham to blindfold yourself and walk out into the road. I know many of us would not do that. Imagine God telling you to go somewhere where you have never been, to leave your family, leave your comfort zone, leave all the people that you are used to, leave the place where you were born, and go to a place where He is carrying you. Sometimes people, you might not know where God is leading you. But as long as God is bringing you to somewhere, my friends, I encourage you to stick with God, stick with the plan. Just as Abraham did. He never knew what lied ahead for him. But all that he knew, it was a command from God to move. And he obeyed. Imagine God giving you a promise. And it was when you are 100 years old. God is telling you that that promise is going to come through. You see, sometimes if something is not going right for me, trust me, I don't wait too long to see if it's going to change. I probably would not have the faith that Abraham did to wait so long on God's promise. Probably I would have turned my back on God. I'm just being honest here. I mean, at 100 years old, you're looking to have a child. Your wife is 90. But it was his faith that stood out to me. Abraham's faith that at 100 years old, that God would come through with a promise of giving him a son. But it was now time for Abraham to pass the baton on to Moses. My friends, the entire Old Testament hinges on the law given by God to Moses. He was the great leader of the people of Israel who transformed them from a people under the enemy's control to a nation ready to rule and defend itself. And we all know the story of Moses. But my friends, I want to end by saying it was now time for Moses to pass the baton on to the greatest human being to have walked the earth. We're talking about the power of one man. It was now time for Moses to pass the baton on to Jesus Christ. The Bible is centered around Jesus Christ, the promised Messiah, the Savior, the God-man, the solution to all our problems. It was through this one man sin entered the world, but it was no time through this one man that grace should come upon the world and man would be redeemed to his God. My friends, I want to tell you about the power of Jesus Christ tonight to change your lives. There is power in you tonight. Do not for 1 second doubt that you are not influential. Do not for 1 second doubt that you are not important. So many of us go through life thinking that we're just here for the journey. But I want to encourage you tonight. You're more powerful than you think. I want to encourage you tonight to believe in yourself. I want to encourage you tonight, just as how God used one man to bless this entire world. God can use you to do great things. God can use you to do marvelous and miraculous things. I want to implore you tonight, just believe in God. Have faith and realize that you are more powerful than you think. God bless you. In Jesus' name, Youth Yard.
Amen, 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 amen. Do not doubt yourself. If God said it, just do it. There is power in you. Thank you so much, Minister Allen, for that word. We move on to our youth on the rise. And tonight I have none other than
Duana Dawkins.
from Unique Cosmetics. Hi, Duana, how are you?
I'm okay, Diamond. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy that you could have stopped by to share with us your journey. And we just look forward to hearing from you and to learn from you and to engage you and see if we can get some products from you too. How about that?
That sounds good.
All right, Duana, tell me about yourself. How did you, in grade 10, decided that you wanted to start a business?
Actually, it's the idea of me starting my own business started back in primary school around grade 6. But Unique Cosmetics came about in grade 8, actually.
So you started in grade 8, but the thought was from primary school.
Primary school.
Where this entrepreneurial spirit come from?
I guess it runs in the family. Everybody is a business person, so I just guess
It ran over to you.
Yeah.
So tell me about the business, the product line. So first of all, you actually make your own product, like from scratch.
Yes, I do. I make everything from scratch. Well, basically the lip gloss. The other stuffs I buy and sell back.
Sell back. So you have a lip gloss line. They're in different sizes, flavors, things like that.
We currently have 7 flavors, 7 shades in the lip gloss. We have lashes, hair accessories, skincare products. Everything you think of, we have it.
Definitely. So why cosmetics? Why that area?
I'm not sure, but I find the love in making the lip gloss. So I guess I love mixed things.
Yeah.
And back when I was in primary school, I used to love wearing lip gloss, but the lip glosses that I used to buy, they weren't, the formula, I didn't really like it. So I think maybe if I could make my own lip gloss and make it how I want it, somebody else will like it as well.
Okay, so it was from a problem, you developed a solution.
Yes.
So you didn't like the lip glosses you had, and so you decided to make your own.
Yep.
In primary school.
Primary
I just want to make note of that because I don't know how many primary school students are actually thinking about finding a solution for a problem that they have. So kudos to you, Duana. But what are some of the growth projection that you have for your business?
I currently have 2 projects I'm working on. I am trying to help other young females to start their own business, cosmetics line in, to be exact.
Yeah.
I'm working on a wholesale project to offer wholesale to other females to start their cosmetics line. And I'm also working on another project to get my products in stores.
To get your products in stores. And I remember talking to you and you were telling me about actually envisioning your product in Fontana. That's a big deal.
Yes, it's been my dream to be in Fontana Tuesday, and one night I had the dream, and I guess it was just a sign.
It's a sign for you. Definitely. I support that vision and I hope that I really see your products in Fontana.
I'm working on it and I hope so too.
So what's the support like from your friends and family?
The support from my friends and family is very, very appreciated, and to say I get a lot of support from my family. My mom, she helped me financially, and she help me promote my business. She gets
Yes.
customers for me.
Yeah.
And the other hand, my friends, they do support me. They buy my lip glosses. They promote my lip glosses. They do everything for me, and I really, really appreciate them.
Duana, how do you balance being a student, an entrepreneur, a sister, a daughter? How you balance it all? Because I know you have a C-Sec and you're studying for that right now. How do you balance it?
I'm not going to say it's easy, but when you have the support, it can be easy. Right now, I have online classes, and when I have deliveries, my mom would do the deliveries. So I'm managing.
Awesome.
perfect.
So having a strong support system is important.
Very important.
I get you. And as it relates to your target market, who do you normally sell to? Who do you normally reach out to?
My target audience is high schoolers, so it's because it started off in high school.
Yes.
My target audience would be the students at my school. It started to be the students at my school, and then it grew bigger to other high school students. So it's growing, I would say.
Awesome, awesome. I love to hear that. There are persons who are listening, young persons who are listening right now, and they might be saying, why are you confident, bad? Because at that age, me never think about that. And even if me did not think about that, me just never confident enough to make the actual step towards it. What would you tell a young person who wants to start their business but they really don't have the confidence?
If you can dream it, or if you can think it every day, why not do it?
Why not do it? As simple as that.
As simple as that.
As simple as that. So if I want to purchase your product, how do I reach out to you? If I want to find Unique Cosmetics, where do I go?
We sell our products online, so you can find us on Instagram at Unique Cosmetics with 3 S's, and you can also text us on WhatsApp at 876-387-5260. That's 387-5260.
And we're going to put your Instagram handle and your phone number so that they can reach out to you. That's Unique Cosmetics with 3 S's.
Yes.
And your phone number so that they can make their orders. You might get some customer who actually want to buy wholesale from you so that you can push that project even more. But we just want you to know that we here at Yaad support your mission, support what you're doing, and we love to see young people on the rise. We love to see young people finding a solution.
Same here.
And we're just glad to see you don't want to big up yourself, like do not stop. Push your business, put your all in it, put your effort in it, and you have us as a support system. So you can include us in your friends and family and know that we have you. So thank you so much for being here, Duana. We just big you up. We just thank you for joining us this evening, and we want to say that we love what you are doing and we encourage you to continue doing it. And that's Duana Dawkins for you from Unique Cosmetics. We encourage you to go out, support her business, ensure that you are building the youth of Jamaica, because when you build them, you can ensure that we have a better Jamaica in the future. So thank you so much, Duana, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So the vibes is going well here in Yaad. You know, say we always have to have some vibes. We always have to have something that's popping, going, music. We miss DJ Chinny, but we'll have him next week, so that's okay. We still are going to keep the vibes going. We still are going to keep everything up. And as the young people would say, we're going to make sure it's have a buzz.
Straight up.
It's our buzz, and we're going to keep it like that. My co-host is here with me. I'm happy that he's back.
Can't stay with too long. So that are the strips, right, Adrian? Yo, good word for you. Good word.
Big up yourself again, Adrian. And Duana, of course. Our 2 young people who came, who stopped by, who encouraged us, and who showed us that we can find a solution, even in tough times.
Straight. One of them evenings that we're going to have Adrian set up a jerk pan out the door.
Adrian can
cook? Him do a thing, you know, him do, when is it? Fridays. It's on tomorrow?
Me never know if you could cook, Adrian.
Oh, it's once a month. Yeah, him do it once. First Fridays? Last Friday. Brother, one Friday. But once a month, him do a thing. I support him thing last week. It was, no, well, but support what I not eat it. Because barbecue pork.
Oh,
right?
see, is you
and
actually
fish.
do it?
My mother said it's shell. My mother said it tastes good. One complaint she have, the meat went too small. Little bit of meat to give the people. So we have to do better. But we go definitely, because that's what Yout is about.
Yeah.
Right, so we go get him, prep him things, set up him jerk pan, and we feature that as well. Because, you know, we are support entrepreneurs. Every hustle.
Definitely. And we never know about that, Adrian. You need to keep us in the loop. No.
Every hustler
But thank
forget
you.
broadcast.
But big up yourself. Of course, we'll have you here one Friday or whenever we go in live again.
Yeah.
As we said.
What you stall for? Run it!
You know, that's the vibes here on Yaad. You know. Thank you, Robert, for keeping me going. As I said earlier, there is no Yaad without opportunities for young people.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to come here, we have to find some opportunities for our young people. So we move into our opportunity center. And in this episode of Yaad, I'll be looking on 2 opportunities that I think are noteworthy. I'll be featuring the Shevening Scholarship. It's a graduate scholarship offered by the UK government. It's a 1-year scholarship, covers boarding, tuition, food, stipend, everything. You will be fully funded to study any master's degree in the UK of your choice. The application process, I think, closes in the first week of November, so you still have a little time, can venture into it, research it, look what you want to do, look what it's about, look what you will need to apply. And I just encourage you guys to take the opportunity. It is great that you're getting an opportunity to study outside of your country, but more so, it will be funded by the UK government. And who don't like to have free education? Like, who does not like free education? So I encourage you, if you have a first degree and you're thinking of doing your master's degree or your PhD, if so, look into the Shevening Scholarship. It might be a thing for you, and you might thank me later. So I just encourage you to research and go for it. I mean, you don't have a chance if you don't put in your application.
Straight up.
Definitely. And a lot of young people now are doing classes online fully. We know there are issues with internet, we know there are issues with devices, and we just know that it's a whole adjustment for our young people right now. From primary to high school to college, it's just a whole adjustment. To be honest, I said to myself the other day, I really feel it for these students, and I'm so glad I'm not a student in these times. It is not easy. I'm praying for you guys. I know it's not easy because we weren't conditioned to necessarily do online classes. Here in Jamaica, we have always done, for the most part, face-to-face learning. And so this is just a big transition for us. Like, you take us out of the little pond of water, and then you just throw it into the ocean and say, swim. And it has been a journey, because trust me, I see the things on social media, I hear the complaints, I hear parents complaining, and I know that it's just a huge struggle. But we here at Yaad, we're doing what we can do to just ensure that it's a bit easier on you guys. And the government has actually, you know, make some websites zero-rated, which means you will not need internet to access these websites for school. There are many of them. They are on the Ministry of Education website. And I just implore you to just look it up, find out the websites that you can use to aid in your studies that you don't necessarily need internet for. And yes, the Ministry of Education website is actually zero-rated. So you can go there to look for the other sites that are zero-rated. So I just encourage every young person who actually have classes in these times to go and find out what are the websites that can help me, that can assist me in my studies right now, and I don't necessarily need internet for it. So that's it on this episode of Opportunity Center. I hope you learned something. I hope you will look into the opportunities that were presented to you this evening, and I hope you will make the best use of them. Over to you, my co-host.
Well done, Dami. And as we say, you know, we have to keep persons in the know. You know, I went to Ireland and did some volunteer work, and I wish I knew about this when I was like 18. Probably wouldn't come back to Jamaica still. But I wish I knew about it. And Jamaicans aren't big on taking gap years, but that's something that we want to also expose people to. I know
Definitely.
it's, you know, this whole COVID thing, everybody afraid to travel and all them kind of thing, but, you know, it's everywhere. It really and truly is everywhere. So what we'll, as time goes on, we'll introduce you to different opportunities to serve for maybe 1 year, get your accommodation and get some stipend and stuff like that, and you do that for a year overseas away from Jamaica. So you can develop yourself and become, you know, find out who you are in the Yaad.
Definitely.
You know, so, but it's a beautiful thing, and we have to ensure that we keep people in the know where these things are concerned. Right? So, Diamond, we are music lovers. Well, me are music lover. Like, we used to Bleach, go Jesus Party, Genesis. If a concert there be, I did it. I don't think there's a big concert that happened, the Recharge, the Exodus, all these different concerts, but they did it. Right? But the COVID thing,
Mash up with life.
a lick, and it has affected the music industry.
Definitely.
Right? I know I worked with what big concert at B&A, Brother Brooks concert. Come celebrate
Come
Jesus.
celebrate Jesus, yes.
And that take a big lick. You know,
Because
because
it would be in what,
it would
October?
have been 2 weeks, two weekends ago.
Okay.
So I think the first weekend in October, and it was not held because of this whole COVID thing. And it affects us to an extent. I don't know if you have heard any new COVID music from gospel artists. I can only think of one.
Yeah, and I think we're thinking of the same one.
Which one?
Kevin Downswell.
Yes, carry me. That in an industry of so many local gospel artists.
Yes.
That's the only one I can,
That's the only one I can think of. Me
Of
too.
note that came out. And well, name do a song, but it's a gospel song, but it's not really a gospel song. Shunammite.
Okay.
Randall Positive do a song with his wife. And so that she is his Shunammite, my celebrating wife. Good move, Randall.
I have to
But
look into that one.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and all them kind of thing as well. You may hear a clip of it playing in the background by the time we hear. But those are the only two things that I can think about.
Yeah.
That's happening. Prodigal do a song, Adrian? Prodigal launch a COVID album. An album in a COVID. That never launched before COVID. August.
Really?
So that means I'm know
So we know, I don't know.
We're going to do some research and drop that pun in the background as well. Because I don't know, Prodigal is the one that set the pace. A Prodigal really come with a new different form of reggae gospel or dancehall gospel music. We had Papa San and Stitchy and them people who got saved before him. And before them, the man that get saved, we had Jonah Miller who used to do him thing as well. And we have Blood Brothers. If you never hear Blood Brothers, you don't know nothing about dancehall gospel. Right? Take it from me. You have Monty G. We can name all these dancehall gospel artists. Want to come from Jamaica, but the man that set the pace. Right? Andrew G sound like Buju Banton. No fun to know them Monday. Right? But these are men who've been holding up the flag. And we have to give shout out to Prodigal's son. Legend is the album name, Roxy? Legend. So we're going to drop
So
a
we're going to
little
look
piece of
into
it.
it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man.
But what's the economic challenges that they're facing now? What do you think they're really facing in the industry now?
I know primarily for gospel artists because their music isn't being played on the bigger radio stations as often as, for example, a Buju Banton. From them free Buju take over the airways.
Take over.
A Cartel and these men. So they're not getting the royalty pull from the music as the secular artists are. Many of these guys depended heavily on concerts.
Shows, actual concerts and shows.
Right,
Yeah.
to make the money and going overseas and touring and those kind of things. And when them go overseas and tour, they won't tell you, but a lot of them are CD sales. They make most of the money from.
Them.
Because have to pay them way go America. I don't want to give out some of the secret, but you know, you have to stop. But a CD sales give them real. If them get maybe $1,000 to do a show from CD sales, they make like $2,000. Right? And them do like circuit concerts. So when them go, them not just go American come back. Them go up America and them do like 3-4 states. And them do a circuit. So it's hard work them put in. That is taken away from them. But the man have to creative as well.
That's
do
what
things
I was
online.
just about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it that they have to now find a way to survive in these times? Like, I see Kevin Downswell doing this Facebook Live thing now with his wife.
Oh, him start that?
Yeah.
Better get on YouTube. Facebook no monetize. YouTube is the money maker, man.
And me feel like Kevin just really find creative ways to continue push himself, push his music and things like that. And maybe they just have to look into those things too.
Let me tell you, it takes 1,000 subscribers to be monetized on YouTube. 1,000 subscribers and must 4,000 views.
Yeah.
And the things start get monetized. I'm sure Kevin have 4,000 views.
Of course.
Him have him subscribers. What he needs to do now is to push it so that he can make more money from it.
And
you have to think about supplementary income in a them time.
Definitely. And when I'm thinking about it, I am not sure if there's actually, you know how you have the MTM and the Virgos, I'm not sure if there's actually a gospel Christian couple on YouTube that we can follow up like that.
There's no steady Christian influencer on YouTube. Jamaican Christian influencer.
Jamaican, right.
Where there's a couple or a one man doing vlog and thing. I love the local vlogs. They have spearfishing Jamaica where the man them go deep diving.
Yeah.
Catch some big old group of them kind of thing. So, yo, Christianity, we have to step up. We have
to do it like people must recognize and Christianity no means say we can't be creative. There's a creative space in Christianity too. And we have to embrace that because I was just really thinking about it. I don't see a YouTube influencer as a Christian, as I say, as a single man or a couple that we can follow up with, like how we look forward to see MTM put out our next video.
Yaad go be the thing.
Maybe, yes.
Yaad, you already need to subscribe,
like, to Yaad,
and comment, hit the notification bell. But I really influencer. So we're trying to push the thing because we have to get that there. We really have to get that there.
Yeah. So we're gonna be on YouTube. So definitely. But we're going to segment into our music video.
Yeah.
Music video, a hot music video in the gospel industry. Roxray, look at me because I say hot. Roxray.
This music video is from our girl. She's going to be our guest next week. And we're going to throw it to Flavia. I gotta have the final say. I'm not even for that the song name, but that's the tagline of the song. Right? So stick and stay, watch Flavia, and we'll be right back. Boom! Yaad.
And I really do hope it blesses you. I know that God will make a way. Do you believe that God will make a way? I know sometimes it's easier to focus on the bad when the pain is so real. And it's hard to see God's hand, but don't forget you're a child of the Maker, the King that makes you royalty. So just sing, I know that God will make a way. Believe me, your breakthrough is coming. Sing that again. I know that God will make a way. So just lift your head up, straighten your crown. I gotta have the final say. When troubles come and weigh you down, cast your cares on Him. He's all that you need. He'll be your friend, so don't forget you're a child of the Maker, the King that makes you royalty. So just sing, I know that God will make a way. Believe me, your breakthrough is coming. Sing that again. I know that God will make a way. So just lift your head up, straighten your crown. I gotta have the final say. You may feel down right now, and it seems like there's no way out. Things may look impossible, but He'll build you a highway out of that mountain somehow. Keep pressing on and trust in the Father's way. Yeah. See your change is coming, your season's approaching, but you gotta have faith. Oh, I know that God will make a way. Believe me, your breakthrough is just lift your head up, straighten your crown. I gotta have the final say one more time. I know that God will make a way. Believe me, a breakthrough is coming. Sing that again. I know that God will make a way. Yeah, lift your head up, straighten your crown. I gotta have the final say. Just lift your head up, straighten your crown. I gotta have the final say.
And the creator, and ain't no high like the most high. So you tried everything and everything has failed. Try God.
If you no tried everything and everything has failed, try God, try God. Sometime we feel joy, the next time we feel pain. Try God, try God. In this life we sun shine, and next time.
Yo, I should have young youth just say. They don't know who these people are, man. That ain't Buju Banton, that's Andrew G, man. Yo.
Tell me who can even come close and try to contend.
That's Andrew G, yo. That's Andrew G. Andrew G. Yo, big up the man them. That's Blood Brothers people. I have to show them up. So yo, a long time when I listen to them artists here. Blood Brothers and Regina Wingate came out the same time. We know Regina Wingate from Ordinary Servant. Right? Ordinary Servant or Ordinary Soldier? Servant. Right? You know that song, Diamond?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's Blood Brothers. So right now we're going to see if we can drop some wisdom. None of us here profess to be sages, but we have something to say.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And in Wisdom Corner today, we'll be looking on, is failure really final?
Failure is not final, Diamond. Failure only becomes final when we are lying down on our back and we decide to quit. If you are lying down on your back and you don't decide to get up, if you get knocked down and you decide, yo, this is my last stint, I'm just going to give up the ghost, then that is when failure becomes final. While you are down there, you have to decide, yo, you know what? Maybe I'm where I should be right now. You have to even be truthful to yourself. Maybe I'm where I deserve to be right now because of bad choices that you have made. Where we are now in our lives is a collective effort of the choices we have made.
Word.
You get me?
Word.
So if we have failure on our back, just own it and say, yo, maybe we deserve for the right or so. But then in your mind's eye, you have to begin to see the future and start with the end in mind. We'll talk about that in our Let Me Help You forum.
Yeah, big up to Robert on that too. And, you know, I think a big thing to that we should really look on is that don't identify yourself in the failure. The failure is separate from you as a person.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of us mess up. You own the failure, but you identify with it. Like, you just put your identity in it.
Yeah.
You have to learn to separate your failures from you as a person and know that the failures are there, yes.
Yeah.
I have failed at this thing, but it does not make me, as a person, a failure.
Yeah, like, I preach a sermon like that. I am not my mistake.
Yeah.
And people go always label you by a mistake. If you check the scriptures, we talk about Mephibosheth, and as soon as we talk about Mephibosheth, we say, yo, Mephibosheth was dropped and he was lame.
Yeah.
They don't even name Rahab in some of the Gospels. Or when them call her, is Rahab the harlot. And people will always label you as a mistake. It's the girl that will get pregnant.
Yeah.
It's the boy that will breed the girl. It's the boy that will thief the money. Right? But if you have it in your gizzard, to say, yo, I am not my mistake. You get me? And then you find the impetus now to say, you know what? The mistake there is where I was.
Yeah.
But I still have this focus on the end, beginning with the end in mind. If you begin with the end in mind, then even though you're upon your back, you still have to the victory.
Word from the man. And Robert, you preached a sermon called, I don't remember the title of it, but he was pretty much saying, can I trust you with my wounds?
That was the title of it.
That was the title of it.
Can I trust you with my wounds?
Yes. And it was pretty much, as you say, people label you by your mistakes and by your failures, but can I come to you and be real? I made this mistake and trust you with this wound, but you still see me as a person.
Yeah.
And still separate me from the mistake and the failure. And boy, it's a tough thing, because me not gonna tell nobody say life easy to navigate.
Nah, that's why it's life. And one of the things, as much as I tell people to begin with the end in mind, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey. It becomes a bit dutiful and not beautiful when you are just, and that just float. When you're just on the journey,
Bars.
and all you think about is the summit, the summit, the summit. That's why I don't like hiking, right? Because if me go hike and it take a regular person 2 hours, it go take me 4. Because me go stop and pick up a stone and look on how the stone up the side, different from the stone down at the bottom. Me go stop and see the fauna that is there, which I don't see down at the bottom of the mountain. So it go take me long because me I go enjoy the journey. Me not just start thinking and say, I'm going to go Blue Mountain Peak, and me just go walk go Blue Mountain Peak. I'm going to no, I need to enjoy the journey. You get me? So even when you don't on the ground, there are certain things you see from an ant's view that you don't see from a bird's eye view. So enjoy the journey when you feel it.
Enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
Certainly, you have to enjoy the journey. And what you realize is that when you have this mindset that you're just after the goal, without enjoying the journey, you'll achieve the goal, enjoy the moment for a while. Tomorrow you're gone back to that empty feeling because you're after our next goal. And that's why it's important for you to enjoy every step of the way until you achieve. And that's where the victory really feel all that good enough because you know that I enjoy this journey, I learned in this process, I accomplished in this process, and this is just the tip of it. This is not the real excitement. The journey is the real excitement. The journey is where everything really is in. And so you don't want to put yourself in a state where I achieve this thing and then tomorrow I'm empty again, going after the next goal.
Yeah. You made a solid point in terms of learning from each experience. And I think that's one of the biggest things our failures afford us. Our failures afford us an opportunity to learn a lesson so we can grow. And if you are down on the ground and you just all you beat up on yourself is, yo, I fail, I can't believe, I do this, I can't believe this happened, then you will miss an opportunity to glean from your failure what you lack in your life. You get me? So when you're down there, you have to learn the lessons. That's the first step of triumphing over your last failure is learning the lesson.
Right.
If you don't learn the lesson, you're going to keep tripping up.
Definitely.
And you're going to keep making the same mistake over and over. Over and over. And God go just have it probably one pants and cloth across the head. He's not going to do it, right? But learn the lesson from your failure. That's the first step of overcoming. The second step is own it and don't cast blame. Don't look upon it and say, yo, you know, say Adrian fault, a Diamond fault, a Roxfire fault, a Marsley fault, or whoever fault why I failed. No, my fault. I made the decision. Yes, we do understand that sometimes, you know, people come at you and they manipulate you or they do certain things to get the better of you and stuff like that. That happens. And, you know, we're not excusing the villain. But we are saying don't victimize yourself. Find something in your failure to rise up and to come again.
Yes. And Robert, you wrote an article entitled Failure is Not Final. And in it, you are pretty much looking at Usain Bolt. And how the man failed starting out. But the man had a vision, worked on his vision. And I wonder if Usain did stop at the point where he failed, if him did even have a glimpse of what?
I saw for the man. Nobody would talk about Usain. Nobody would be talking about Usain.
No, but... And at that point, I'm not sure if at that point Usain had a thought that I'm going to be big one day. So let me continue working on this. But I just imagine how many persons stop at that failure without really enjoying what was to come.
And you know, nobody celebrates a quitter. Usain failed to reach the first finals that he went in and competed on the national stage. He also false started in one of the World Championships. And I'm sure Yohan thanked him because Yohan
that was
won
when
that
Yohan,
race. But he kept going. And today, you see, I was teaching a class today with Mohammed, a French student who I teach English. And at the end of the class, he said, I like Usain Bolt. Right? This man, I went to Johannesburg. And when I came out of the airport, tears came to my eyes because I saw a big banner of Usain Bolt that was about 30, 40 feet spread out in the airport in Johannesburg. Right? And everywhere I've gone to, persons have come to me. First it was Bob Marley. But people come to me and say, do you know Usain Bolt and the Bob Marley? You get me? So let me tell you something.
Identify you know.
So I thank you, Mr. Bolt, say you never quit.
Thank God.
Man.
But Robert, what do you have to say to some young people who feel like them fail over and over and over? Like, how can I move on from a place of failure that I've experienced more than 5 times?
All right. You still have 2 to go. The Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times. Right? And the reality is that it is not that the person, you're only allowed 7 times to fall or to fail in a particular thing. If you understand numerology in the Bible, it is saying that the righteous man actually continues to fall.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that 7 is the number of completion, and what it's saying is that we constantly trip up. So Paul, reflecting on that scripture, says we have all fallen short of the God's standard. The Greek actually uses the term we continue to fall short of the standard of God. It's a continuous tense in the Greek. Right? So it's not that we are allowed just a certain measure. The reality is you have to trust God to lift you up. And you have to trust the fact that God's grace becomes more evident when your weakness becomes apparent. So yeah, you're tripping up on a thing. Let me tell you something. If I stopped the first time I failed God, or the 7th time, or the 100th time I failed God, I would not be here today. I would have left church and go start bun ganja, shotgun, and police would have put gun to me and dead me, as you'd have said. Right? You just have to keep on pressing. It's not a cliche. Press along, saints, press along. We don't sing them good songs in a church again, but it's really something that you have to keep on pressing.
Word.
You are already forgiven for your sin for tomorrow. Make that sink in.
Word.
You get me? So just keep on pressing on.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much for that. And as we are saying here in Yout, just keep on pressing on.
Yeah.
Keep on pressing on, because you know failure is definitely not final. But we are going to move into the man Napoleon.
Big bad man himself.
The man himself. The wisdom man himself. We're going to move on. And we're going to look on. What's the title again, Robert?
So the title for this video was Girlfriend Got Daddy Issues. So Napoleon dropped some bomb. Like we could show the entire thing. But he said some very poignant things in that I really think it's good to, expose some of the young people to.
Yeah. So take a look at this video. Girlfriend got daddy issues. Yeah.
Soon come.
There's enough in the scriptures that point us in the right direction in terms of what fathers ought to be doing in the lives of their children, especially in the lives of their in the lives of their daughters, to make them healthy, whole, and not hungry and hurting.
Yeah.
So we believe that. And so we want to pull those narratives, we want to pull those issues up and out to help us still in the process. Bob is still to begin his process, others in the process to get there. So what we're saying is we are in process.
Yeah.
Then there are some brothers that say, boy, I never know these things. And the guilt, we're not into guilting you. We're not into shaming you. We are saying, well, there may be a space in which to go back to that and say, what kind of father have I been?
Yeah.
And that might help to begin a conversation to help reshape some things. We can't ask you to go back. What we can ask you to do is start where you are.
Yeah.
Make a difference. And then we just want to commend those fathers who have given it everything. Again, they never get everything right, but you gave it everything, and you see your daughter, and your daughter is coming back and saying to you, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
We want to commend you, and we want to say that's a model we want to get to.
Yep.
Again, we're not pushing perfection. We're not saying everything is right, but we're saying we're glad that there's some brothers who are properly on the journey. And that's what we want above all else.
Never did no wrongs, but I see many doubting. Tried as they may, they couldn't do without him. I will preach it in the valley, tell it from the mountain. Hosanna in the highest, so we shouting. He's the bread of life and the living fountain. The king is in the building, so gather round him. Let our legend live on and on. Very clear he's number one. There's no doubt, no question. King Jesus, champion. Let the legend live on and on. Very clear he's number one. There's no doubt, no question.
Very clear he is indeed number one. And of course, as we said, We can do nothing here without bigging up the one and only King Jesus. He's ever present in our midst, and of course, he's right here with us here on Youth Yard. So we not leave him out. So we thank him for a wonderful show this evening. It was great. Of course, I want to big up my co-host. I want to big up everyone who came and joined us this evening, who forward out, who support the show, and just who give it a lot of love. We thank you so much, guys, for hanging with us. We look forward in carrying this every week. It's our child that we have given birth to, that I have given birth to.
They can't give birth.
So, we want to thank you guys for supporting the thing.
Yes, I.
Robert, it was a good evening.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of knowledge.
Yeah, man. And next week we have DJ Chinny.
Yes.
And Flavia Beswick live in the building.
We look forward to having them, of course, more vibes.
Yeah, man.
I hope one day we can all have giveaways, sponsors.
Yeah,
We're going to get there. We're going to get there, of course. So we just want to thank you, as I said before. And in closing, we charge you to go forth into your week.
Yeah,
we
man.
hope that you have a wonderful week and keep Christ at the center. We give you the scripture, Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord, your God, He is the one who goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That's a word. Keep it, walk with it, live with it, and just know, say, Him always there with you. So thank you so much. It has been a pleasure once more. I want you guys to know that we appreciate you tuning in. It's a pleasure again. And I'm your co-host, Diamond.
The one.
Yes, the one and only.
Yes, I. And this is the boy, Tibor, checking out. Until next time. See you next week. Walk good, and God go with you.
Run the trap.